A new chapter in cybersecurity has just been written. Seriously, it's a story about espionage, AI that thinks for itself, and a $100 billion arms race that's changing our world faster than we can keep up. So let's unpack what this new era of warfare really, truly means.
And that right there, that's not just some dramatic headline. It's a declaration. It marks a huge shift in the kinds of digital threats and capabilities that are out there. It's basically a giant signpost saying, you are here.
Okay, so to really understand what this new era is all about, we have to start with the event that kicked it all off, a real-world cyber espionage campaign that used AI in a way we have literally never seen before.
Now, before we go any further, it's super important we're all on the same page with this term in agentic system. Think of it less like a tool you have to command and more like a really skilled teammate. You don't give it step-by-step instructions, you just give it a big, complex goal and it figures out how to get there all on its own.
And that brings us to the first major incident of this new era. In mid-September, the AI company Anthropic found this incredibly sophisticated campaign from a Chinese state-sponsored hacking group. And you can see the targets were huge: tech, finance, government agencies. But the how they did it, that's the real game changer here. They didn't just use AI to plan something, they actually weaponized its agentic abilities to carry out the attack.
So how did they pull this off? How'd they get past all the safety guardrails? Well, it was brilliant, actually. The attackers broke down their main objective, let's say breaching a server, into dozens and dozens of tiny little subtasks. Now, each individual request they sent to the AI looked completely harmless. It just flew right under the radar of all the safety systems. But the agentic AI, it was the only one holding the full blueprint, piecing together all these innocent little steps into a full-blown, successful system breach.
And get this, Anthropic reported that a staggering 80 to 90% of the attack was automated. A human was only needed for a handful of key decisions. I mean, this is the work of an entire team of experienced hackers, all condensed into the speed and efficiency of one single autonomous system.
So here's the bottom line, why this is so important. We're now dealing with threats that operate at machine speed and scale. Less experienced groups can now potentially launch these massive, sophisticated attacks that, before, would have required the resources of a whole nation-state. The barrier to entry for high-level cyber warfare has just been lowered dramatically.
Now, these powerful capabilities don't just appear out of thin air. They're the direct result of this massive, unprecedented financial arms race. And to really understand where this is all going, you just have to follow the money. And we're talking about bets so big, they're completely reshaping the entire tech industry.
First up, Anthropic. Yep, the same company whose AI was used in that attack is committing $50 billion to build its own data centers. This shift from renting computer power to owning it is a huge statement. It means they're not depending on anyone else for the raw power they need to build the next generation of even more powerful AI.
And then there's this number, which is just mind-boggling. A brand new AI lab, Thinking Machines Lab, or TML, is reportedly raising money at a valuation that could hit $60 billion. To put that in perspective, that's an absolutely astronomical figure for any company, let alone one that's just getting started.
Let's just put that $60 billion valuation into context for a second. This table compares TML to some absolute giants in tech. You've got Stripe and Databricks valued around $100 billion. TML is already playing in that same league. But here's the wild part. It's a pre-revenue company. It has barely even launched a product.
So why the huge price tag? What's going on? It's because this isn't a bet on a business model or current profits. Nope. It's a pure, straight-up bet on talent. TML has basically put together a dream team of top researchers from places like OpenAI and DeepMind. And in this new arms race, investors are betting that this specific group of people is the ultimate weapon, the ones who are going to build the future.
So what does all this investment in talent and infrastructure actually produce for us? Well, it's not just theory. It's rapidly creating some incredibly powerful tools that are becoming available to everyone. The same agentic capabilities being used by hackers are now getting packaged up for productivity.
For instance, take Google's NotebookLM. There's a new feature called Deep Research that basically turns it into your personal AI research assistant. You can give it a simple prompt, something like, latest breakthroughs in quantum physics, and just a few minutes later, boom, it gives you back a complete dossier. This is that same agentic principle we talked about, breaking a big goal into small tasks, but it's applied to helping you get work done instead of espionage. But the real frontier, the research that gets us closer to truly intelligent systems, is in creating agents that don't just do tasks, but can actually learn and then generalize that knowledge to new situations they've never seen before.
And this brings us to DeepMind's SEMA 2 agent. Just look at the performance jump on this chart. The first version, SEMA 1, had a success rate of about 31% across the whole range of tasks in video games. SEMA 2 more than doubles that performance to 65%, which puts it right on the heels of the human baseline of 76%. That is a huge leap.
But here's where it gets really fascinating. This next chart shows its performance on games the agent has never seen before. This is the true test of intelligence, not just memorization. It's called generalization. SEMA 1 was almost useless, with only a 2% success rate. But SEMA 2 jumps all the way to 13%. Now I know, 13% might not sound that high, but that six-fold leap, it shows that it's starting to learn the underlying principles, not just memorizing specific games.
And why does that matter so much? Because that ability, the ability to generalize knowledge across different unseen environments, is what many researchers consider to be one of the fundamental keys to unlocking artificial general intelligence, or AGI. This is a massive step on that path. Okay, so let's pull all of these threads together to really see the full picture. We have a completely new class of thread, which is being fueled by a financial arms race, which in turn is accelerating research towards AGI and spinning off powerful tools for all of us in the process. It's not just one thing changing. The entire landscape is evolving all at once.
And of course, while all this is going on, the big players aren't just sitting around. OpenAI just made GPT 5.1 available through its API. And the key takeaway for our conversation here is that the model is now way more steerable. This gives developers the fine-tuned control they need to build more predictable, more reliable agents. It just goes to show that this relentless progress isn't just happening in secret research labs, it's happening across the entire ecosystem.
So we end right where we began. The same underlying technology that can act as a tireless research assistant can also become an automated hacker. The capability is here, it's real. And it leaves us with the single most important question of this new era. These agents can be our greatest helpers or our most dangerous adversaries. The question now is, who decides which path they take?